What do exploding wheels, invisible naps, and frogs with eye problems have in common? They're all real. And just the beginning. Welcome to the channel. These 30 random facts are weirder than fiction, and 100% true. Fact 1. Canada has an Apology Act. In most countries, saying sorry might be seen as admitting guilt, but not in Canada. In fact, Ontario passed something called the Apology Act, which states that an apology can't be used as evidence of liability in court. So if a Canadian bumps into you, spills your coffee, and says sorry, they're just being polite, not pleading guilty. Fact 2. Per milli and per myriad. We all know the percent sign, but did you know there are symbols for even more precise ratios? Meet the per mille sign, meaning per thousand, and the per myriad sign, meaning per 10,000. While they're rarely seen, they're real symbols used in finance and science, when even a tiny fraction makes a big difference. Fact 3. Over 80% of the world has never taken a flight. Flying might feel like an everyday activity for many, but globally, it's still a rare experience. In fact, over 80% of the world's population has never taken a single flight. That's billions of people who've never soared above the clouds, never heard the roar of jet engines up close, or looked down at the Earth from 30,000 feet. While air travel connects the world, access to it remains limited, highlighting the vast economic and geographic gaps that still exist today. Have you ever been on a flight? Let me know with a yes or no in the comments. While you're there, take a moment to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on notifications so you'll know when we post a new video. It really does help the channel, thanks you. Fact 4. Brain napping. Here's a wild fact about your brain. Even when you're awake, parts of it might be taking tiny naps. Scientists have discovered that small clusters of neurons can briefly go offline in a sleep-like state, while the rest of your brain stays alert. It's called local sleep, and it's more common when you're sleep-deprived. These micro-naps can mess with your focus, slow your reaction time, and lead to mistakes, all without you even realizing it. So, if you've ever zoned out or fumbled something while feeling tired, it might be because part of your brain literally went to sleep on the job. Fact 5. The well rod. During World War II, silence was sometimes deadlier than firepower. Enter the well rod, a weapon so secretive even its name barely made a sound. Developed by British intelligence, this bolt-action pistol was fitted with an integral suppressor, making it one of the quietest firearms ever created. Used by spies and covert agents, the well rod could eliminate a target with barely more than a whisper, quiet enough that enemies just a room away wouldn't know a thing. It didn't even have a serial number, and its design was so unassuming it could be mistaken for a bicycle pump. Perfect for sabotage and silent takedowns, this ghostly little pistol played a deadly role in the shadow war behind enemy lines, proving that sometimes the most dangerous weapon is the one you never hear. Fact 6. Dr. William Halsted. Dr. William Halsted, one of the founding fathers of modern surgery, revolutionized medicine with sterile techniques and the first structured residency training program. But behind his medical brilliance was a personal struggle. He became addicted to cocaine after using it to experiment with anesthesia. Later, in an attempt to cure his addiction, he was treated with morphine, and became addicted to that too. Yet despite his lifelong battle with substance abuse, Halsted continued to perform groundbreaking surgeries and shape the future of medical education. His story is a powerful reminder that even the most brilliant minds can wrestle with deep personal demons. Fact 7. Don't linger in the loo. Scrolling through your phone on the toilet? You might want to think twice. But doctors warn that sitting on the toilet for more than 10 minutes could be doing more harm than good. It's putting pressure on the delicate veins in your rectum, increasing your risk of hemorrhoids and even back pain. The longer you linger, the more you strain. And that's a problem. So if nature doesn't call right away, don't wait around. Get up, walk it off, and come back later. Your body will thank you. Fact 8. Common side-blotched lizard. In the wild world of reptiles, one tiny lizard plays a game of survival that mimics a playground favorite. Rock, paper, scissors. Meet the common side-blotched lizard. These clever creatures use 3 distinct mating strategies, each color-coded by throat color. Orange-throated males are aggressive and rule large territories. Blue-throated males are loyal defenders of smaller turf. And yellow-throated males? They're the sneaky ones, pretending to be females to slip past rivals and steal a chance to mate. The result? Orange beats blue, blue beats yellow, and yellow outsmarts orange. This natural game of rock, paper, scissors keeps their population balanced and proves that even lizards know how to play smart. Fact 9. Sunniest place on Earth. Visitors to the Altiplano Plateau in Chile's Atacama Desert should be sure to pack sunscreen. This high-altitude region gets hit with an average of 308 watts of sunshine per square meter, the most intense sunlight anywhere on Earth. Fact 10. Astronauts can't burp in space like they do on Earth. On Earth, gravity helps separate the contents of your stomach. Liquids and solids sink and gases rise. So when you burp, you're usually just releasing gas. But in the microgravity of space, there's no such separation. Food, liquid, and gas mix together like a bubbly soup. If an astronaut tries to burp in space, there's a good chance it will be a wet burp, meaning some of that food or liquid might come up too. Not exactly pleasant. NASA even trains astronauts to avoid carbonated beverages in space because of this. No sodas on the International Space Station. Fact 11. The lungfish. Did you know there's a fish that can breathe just like you? While most fish rely solely on gills, lungfish have developed lungs, and some species even have two. These ancient creatures can breathe air and survive out of water for months, sometimes even years, when their watery homes dry up. It's one of nature's most incredible adaptations, proof that life always finds a way. Fact 12. Chef theft. In 1998, long before becoming a celebrity chef and TV personality, Gino D'Acampo made headlines for all the wrong reasons. At just 21 years old, he broke into the London home of singer Paul Young and stole thousands of pounds worth of items, including guitars and a platinum record. He was caught after police matched his DNA from a cigarette butt left at the scene and was sentenced to 2 years in prison. Years later, D'Acampo turned his life around and reached out to Paul Young to personally apologize. To everyone's surprise, Young accepted the apology with grace and even joked that Gino should invite him to dinner at one of his restaurants. However, not everything was forgiven. A few precious items, including sentimental recordings featuring Young's late wife, were never recovered. Fact 13. The Panjandrum. During World War II, the British had a bizarre plan to smash through enemy beach defenses with a massive rocket-powered wheel called the Panjandrum. Standing over 10 feet tall and packed with explosives, it was designed to roll straight through barbed wire and bunkers on D-Day. But in testing, it became clear the Panjandrum had a mind of its own, veering off course, spinning out wildly, and even turning back toward the people watching. Needless to say, the dangerous contraption never made it to the battlefield, and remains one of history's most explosive engineering flops. Fact 14. Frog fact. Here's a weird but true frog fact. Frogs can't swallow with their eyes open. That's because their eyeballs actually sink into their head when they eat, helping to push the food down their throat. It's like using their eyes as an extra pair of hands. Fact 15. Space oddity. David Bowie's Space Oddity was banned by the BBC in July 1969 during Apollo 11 due to its perceived bleak astronaut theme. After the moon landing succeeded, the ban was lifted and it became a hit and was even used in BBC coverage. Fact 16. Phantom barber. During World War II in Pascagoula, Mississippi, a series of bizarre incidents terrified locals. Someone was sneaking into homes at night and cutting locks of hair from sleeping victims, mostly young girls. There was no evidence of robbery or physical harm in many of the cases, just hair missing and windows left open. The mysterious intruder was dubbed the Phantom Barber by the media. The town was gripped with fear, and while a man named William A. Dolan was eventually arrested and convicted for one of the more violent break-ins, he was never definitively tied to the haircutting incidents, and some believed he was framed. To this day, the true identity and motive of the Phantom Barber remains unsolved. Fact 17. Nepenthes raja. Deep in the jungles of Borneo grows a plant that seems straight out of a science fiction movie. Nepenthes raja, the world's largest carnivorous plant. Its pitcher-shaped traps can hold over half a gallon of liquid, making them the biggest known in the plant kingdom. But this isn't just for show. These natural pitfall traps are so large, they've been known to catch and digest insects, frogs, and even small mammals like rats. It's a rare and fascinating reminder that in nature, even plants can be predators. Fact 18. Did you know that China now warns travelers heading to South Korea for plastic surgery to carry a doctor's note? The reason? So many Chinese women are undergoing cosmetic procedures there that their post-surgery faces no longer match their passport photos. In some cases, they've even been detained at airports, unable to prove who they are. South Korea is one of the world's top destinations for plastic surgery, but when beauty creates border confusion, it's a reminder that changing your face too much can also change your travel plans. Fact 19. Meet Mary Edwards Walker, the only woman in U.S. history to receive the Medal of Honor. A fearless Civil War surgeon, she braved the front lines and was even taken prisoner while aiding Union soldiers. In 1865, her courage earned her the nation's highest military award, but in 1917 the government took it back, claiming she didn't qualify because she was a civilian. Mary refused to return the medal and wore it proudly until her death. Decades later, justice was served. In 1977, her Medal of Honor was officially reinstated, cementing her place as a trailblazer in American history. Fact 20. Waterless. Imagine surviving your whole life without ever drinking a single drop of water. That's exactly what the kangaroo rat does. Native to the scorching deserts of North America, this tiny creature has mastered the art of hydration through its food. By eating dry seeds and producing water internally, it never needs to drink. Its super-efficient kidneys and nocturnal habits help conserve every precious drop. The kangaroo rat is a living, breathing desert survival expert. Fact 21. The ostrich effect is a well-documented psychological phenomenon named after the myth that ostriches bury their heads in the sand to avoid danger. While ostriches don't actually do this, the term has been adopted in behavioral economics and psychology to describe people's tendency to avoid negative or unpleasant information, especially when it concerns finances, health, or personal performance. For example, investors might avoid checking their stock portfolio during a market downturn to escape the anxiety of seeing losses, even though staying informed could help them make better decisions. Fact 22. The animal with the most bones in the world is the python and other large snakes in the same family. Pythons can have over 600 vertebrae in their spine, which translates to more than 1,800 bones in their entire body, as each vertebrae has associated ribs and other structures. Fact 23. For centuries, Borzoi dogs were royal treasures in Russia, so rare and valued that they weren't sold, only given as gifts by the Tsar himself. But after the Russian Revolution, these elegant hunters became targets. The new communist regime saw Borzoi as symbols of the upper class and ordered many to be killed, pushing the breed to the brink of extinction. Thankfully, today, Borzoi have made a comeback, but their story is a poignant reminder of how history can impact even our beloved animals. Fact 24. The Goliath bird-eater tarantula is considered the largest spider in the world by mass and body size. Its body length can reach up to 4.75 inches with a leg span of about 11 inches. It can weigh over 6 ounces, making it the heaviest spider in the world. Despite its name, the Goliath bird-eater rarely preys on birds. Fact 25. Ian Fleming, the creator of James Bond, did negotiate a unique arrangement with the Times newspaper that allowed him to spend about 2 months a year in Jamaica. It was during these extended stays in his Jamaican home, Goldeneye, that he began writing the Bond novels, dedicating around 3 hours a day to his work. This tropical retreat gave him the focus and inspiration to create one of the most iconic spy characters in literature and film. Fact 26. In 2010, the Ontario Superior Court of Justice released a judgment in a case where the sole disputed issue was whether or not Nickelback was a suitable band. The case, known as RV Greater Sudbury, involved the city's decision to play Nickelback's music in public spaces. The court ruled that the city's actions were lawful, but the judgment sparked widespread debate and humor about the band's musical suitability. This case has since become a humorous and ironic part of legal and pop culture history, often cited as an example of the intersection between law and music. Fact 27. Operation Vegetarian. During World War II, the Allies cooked up one of the most bizarre biowarfare plans ever devised. Codenamed Operation Vegetarian, the mission involved dropping anthrax-laced cow cakes over German pastures. The goal? To kill off the livestock and cripple the enemy's food supply. Thankfully, the war ended before the plan was ever put into action, but it remains a chilling reminder of how creative and destructive war strategies can be. Fact 28. For centuries, snake charmers were a common sight in India, mesmerizing cobras with their flutes. But did you know the practice remained legal all the way up until 1972? That's when India introduced the Wildlife Protection Act, banning the capture and public display of wild animals, including snakes. Since then, traditional snake charming has largely faded, becoming a symbol of the past rather than a legal street performance. Fact 29. Thomas Jefferson's original tombstone was indeed removed and relocated due to damage caused by souvenir seekers. Over time, visitors to his gravesite at Monticello chipped away at the original marker, taking pieces as mementos. Concerned about its deterioration, Jefferson's descendants requested its removal in the 1880s. Fact 30. You might recognize Lucozade as a sugary sports drink, but it actually began life in 1927 as a hospital tonic. Originally called Glucozade, it was given to patients to help them recover from illness. For years, it was the go-to energy boost for the sick, until the 1980s, when it got a sporty makeover and hit the gym instead of the hospital ward. Still with me? Now you've seen just how strange and surprising our world can be. From brain naps to explosive war inventions, the truth really is stranger than fiction. Which fact blew your mind the most? Let us know, and if you want more, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, keep discovering one fact at a time.